My name is Sofia Posada. I'm a 12th grader and I'm a student at Dura Academy.
Awesome. Thank you. So what happened that made you realize that you needed our service?
I realized that I needed your service because I took the SAT twice before doing piece of pie tutoring, and I wasn't able to get the score that I wanted to for Bright Futures. I took my first test without studying, and then the second one I tried to study by myself, but it wasn't working. So I knew that I needed like some outside help.
And and why do you think it wasn't working for you when you were trying to study on your own?
I just wasn't like really focused, or I couldn't put the discipline into studying by myself because it's a hard like study routine and it was kind of getting annoying, so I would always put it to the last minute.
I feel that. And what about, because we do math tutoring, right? So how were you in math before tutoring?
um I've always been really good at math, better than I was at reading, but unfortunately my algebra 2 teacher wasn't good, and I noticed that algebra 2 is a big part of the SAT math. So that's kind of where I was with math. I also learned algebra 2 during COVID year, so it was online. So it was hard for me to really like learn.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lost year of math for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not alone. Um, okay, so you were already pretty good at math, but your score wasn't what you thought it should be based on how good you were at math, right? And
Mhm.
it wasn't what you needed it to be for Bright Futures.
Right.
So aside from Bright Futures, like what other problems was that causing you?
Well, my main priority was the bright futures, and at the time, I didn't really know like what college I wanted to go to, but I really wanted that score to be high just in case when I do make that decision, I know I have a score that I can use.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. How'd you end up finding us?
I found out through a friend's recommendation. She said that it really helped her. And I saw that her score went up really high, so I tried it out.
And so, you found out about us from your friend, but why'd you ultimately choose to work with us?
It really worked for her, and math is something that it's something that's like a yes or yes. Like if you learn it, there's a concrete and like result. It's not something like more abstract like reading that it's up to your own interpretation. So I knew that getting help in math was like it had to bump up my score.
Yeah, I feel you. It was like more straightforward.
Yes, yes.
It was objective. It's like, all right, as long as I learned what I needed to learn for this test, it's like 2 plus 2 is 4, and that's not going to change. It's not
Exactly.
with the reading comprehension. You thought you interpreted it one way, but then the test makers did interpret it a different way.
Yes.
Nice.
I really liked the program overall. I think the course gave a lot of useful information, and I felt really prepared.
How would you describe our service for another student? Like, what should they know?
Well, they should be prepared for the course like workload, because it is a lot. So they should know that in order, like everything that you give or everything that's given is shown on the test. So there's like if you skip something, you're probably gonna skip like or miss one or two questions, but ultimately like that's the one or two questions that will make a difference in your score from 1320 to a 1330. Like all you need is one question.
You might miss that 10 points you need.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's why it is a lot of work. So you already know that. You already know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adriana, how about you? How would you describe the service to another parent, maybe?
You guys did a very good job holding them accountable for the work. I know that it's not fun to have this extra amount of work on top of school, but it is proven that if you put in the work, your method does work and you will see results. So for me, it was a great decision that we made at the time because it showed tremendously on Sophie's score.
You like the WhatsApp group chats?
Yes, and I did like a lot that whenever I had doubts or I wanted to see a result or I wanted to see a test score, there was a WhatsApp chat or there was a WhatsApp contact that I could write to, and within a couple of hours, I had the result, I had the score, I had what I was looking for to help me understand what was going on and to help Sophie, because the motivation in the house definitely, it is important that we understand and we respect the time that she needed for her studying and the peace and quiet, and not to schedule any time off or going out trips during that time, so she didn't feel left out. So it is important for the parents to be involved and the whole family.
Team effort. Yeah, that's how it works. You know, I'm glad you guys approach it that way. That makes me happy. That's why it worked. There you go. All right, cool. Sophie, okay, so then tell me, what about the prep course did you find the most helpful?
I think what was most helpful was, I think when we would do the tests, you would fill out a Google form and it would tell you automatically when you got it, like which one you got wrong and which one you got right. So I really liked that. I also really liked how if I had a question on the homework, there was a video for explaining every single question. So I could know like right there and then about that specific question rather than like taking up class time to ask about a question that already had an answer.
And what was your expectation of the virtual group learning experience coming into the course?
My expectation, I thought it was gonna be more unbearable. But I think I liked it because it wasn't as serious, but I got the work in. Like everyone's very friendly with each other and no one would like no teacher, or it wasn't like a place where they would get mad if I got it wrong or something. It was very understanding and they were like everyone was always open to helping each other. Especially like sometimes the students too, like when they answer, like if I had a question and another student knew the answer, like in the chat, since the chat was open, like they could also answer my question. So I guess my expectation was that it was gonna be like a more serious environment, but it made it a little bit more enjoyable that the people were like helping us out. Like they wanted to help us.
I didn't even think about that. You guys be talking to each other. I should have known. Like, which one did you get? Yo, I don't know how to do this one. That's great.
Yeah, I think it was also like the fact that everyone was in the same spot. Like everyone's there because they either got a really low score before and they want to get it higher, or everyone is there because they want the high SAT score. So
Yeah,
it's like a group of people that like are all in there for the same thing.
on the same mission. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So,
But also the tutors were always very, very friendly and
Yeah.
very like down to earth people. I don't know if they're all young, but they're all very like helpful and playful even. They didn't make, it's an intense course. And it's several weekends if you decide to do it on the weekends like Sophie did. So the fact that the people that were there behind the screen were also polite and helpful, it made it nicer.
yeah, that's what we go for with the tutors. And that's one of the number one things we look for, is that they can relate to the students, and it's already a stressful time. So
Yeah, I remember there was this one tutor that they were explaining how also like they needed the same thing to get into like their college. They needed the same tutoring or they needed help, and they like were able to remember back to when they took the SAT. So it was like,
They've been through it.
yeah.
They've been through it. That makes me very happy to hear. So, what result did we ultimately help you get? What was your final score and total improvement?
It was from a 610 to a 770.
How much of an improvement is that? Test your math skills.
160.
On the spot, that was pretty good. Usually I choke on the spot. I'm like, I'm out. Where's my calculator? That was solid.
Yeah, 150 points.
Yeah, that's great. And you ended up getting...
Yeah, because the Bright Futures is 1330 for my year.
Aside from that, I mean, have you applied to schools yet or no?
Not yet. I did apply to FIU and I got in.
Nice.
And for now, that's where I'm gonna go. But I haven't really applied anywhere else.
And so what advice would you give other students that are currently on their SAT prep journey?
To not give up because it's a long journey, but it's definitely worth it at the end. Like you can't, you're so close when you feel like you're so far, but it's so worth it. So just don't give up and just remember the SAT score is gonna save a lot of money.
Dang, that was good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I'm glad that we made the decision. I'm glad that when we had that initial call, which was also with you, we made the decision to go ahead because it was a good one.
I'm happy. Well, thank you. Good luck with everything at FIU. I know if you need anything related to FIU or any advice or whatever, I have people there. Well, I don't really have people there, but I know students there, so I can connect you. Just let me know.
Thank you
so much.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you. Good luck. Bye.
You
Bye.
too.